Welcome to Brainiac, the show that lances boils on the spotty bottom of science.
Yes, the show that defined science abuse is back to redefine physics, chemistry, biology, electricity, cookery, custard, and explosives. This is Brainiac, Science Abuse.
Brainiac. 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 Brainiac.
The big science tonight. Can we launch a toilet into space?
Blast off!
New girl Tyler Zuki tests a viewer's hard thing. And Professor Kilcoyne and Dr. Bunhead go head to head. But first... What makes the best ball of fire? Is it solid, liquid, or gas? To find out, I need to ask a man for whom the flames of science burn brightly. The name of that man, yes, my friends, it's John Tickle. There he is, there. John! What's the word on fireballs?
A fireball is a burning mass of fuel and air caused by mixing the two and exposing the mix to a reliable ignition source.
I tell you what, you select a substance from solid, liquid and gas, I'll torch it, and the biggest explosion wins.
Righto, Vic.
To find out how our flaming, fat, fearsome fireballs fan out, we've created a 30-metre wide test area. John will be recording each fireball on this very expensive slow-motion camera, which we'll be viewing on this reasonably priced laptop and printing on this cheap-as-chips printer. We'll be exploding 40 litres of each of our solid, liquid and gas, starting with a coffee creamer. That's enough fake milk to keep an old lady in tea for days. One blast will spread the powder and a second ignite it. Here goes. 3, 2, 1, explosion! The coffee companion engulfs our towers, leaving nothing behind but creamy fallout and the faint smell of toffee. In slow motion, we could see the mixture of creamer and air explode violently in a massive ball of flame measuring a whopping 19 meters across. Powder suspended in air is incredibly dangerous and not to be taken lightly. Wow, that was some kind of a fireball, eh, John?
Oh, yes.
What about gas?
Well, I'd recommend propane.
So, now 40 litres of gas. Propane gas. And a small rocket. Right, John, I've got me propane balloons dangling in position.
Yes, that's because propane is denser, heavier than air.
Correct. So I'm going to go and fire me a little rocket into the heart of the propane. You go about your measuring, OK?
You seem to get all the fun jobs, Vic.
That's the way it's got to be, John. 3, 2, 1, the rocket! Look, it's made a huge smoke ring in the sky. The propane crackles into life, forming a fireballette reminiscent of the late Bernard Manning. A rotund ball of hot air that faded, leaving nothing but disappointment and the faint smell of gas. At just 5 meters wide, that was pretty rubbish. Well, that was a much less impressive fireball, John. Why is that?
Well, I think the problem we had there, Vic, is that gas is much less dense than solid, so there's less fuel to burn. As you can see from the freeze frame, look, it's only about 5 meters across.
What about the liquid version of the fireball, then? Petrol?
Oh, petroleum's a cracking idea, Vic.
Right, I'll sort something out, then. Do you like it, John?
Very much, Vic.
It's my multi-bag petrol dispersal system. I should retreat to a safe distance. You can suit yourself. Like a quartet of giant colostomy bags, our 40 litres of petrol are primed and ready.
3, 2, 1.
In a furious fury of flame, the petrol engulfs our cameras, furiously. At first, it doesn't seem as big as the solid's fireball, but in super slow motion, the first charge can be seen spreading the liquid. Immediately followed by ignition, rapidly growing into a fireball-busting 25-metre-wide cloud of burning fuel, dwarfing the coffee creamer.
John! That was the best yet!
Yes.
'Twas almost nuclear!
Look at it, it looks like a mushroom cloud.
I'd use that kind of explosion at something really important, I don't know, like the opening of a new supermarket.
Oh, that would be special, yes.
So, a solid performance from Solid. Gas was a bit of a blowout. But the biggest of all was the gigantic ball of flame that came from the state of matter we like to call liquid.
Brainiac. Brainiac.
At the end of a grueling day abusing science, our Brainiac indulges in a warm bowl of his most favoritist thing in the whole world, custard. And each night, as he drifts off into a custard-induced sleep, his tiny subconscious mind transports him to a magical world. A world of custard dreams. A place where wishes come true. Any wish. Well, nearly. At the heart of this dream world is a pool filled with what he craves more than anything, custard. Despite clearly being a liquid, legend has it that a man once walked across custard. But surely this runny yellow fluid couldn't support the weight of a man?
Feel the non-Newtonian force, young Brainiac. Because physics says that custard is one of a group of fluids in which the viscosity changes with the applied strain rate. Basically, Brainiac, it means you can run across it if you hit the surface with enough force.
So this is it. One Brainiac, one pool of custard. The moment of truth. He's doing it! He's actually doing it! Buoyed by science and a misplaced amount of self-belief, he runs across the sea of custard like a demented lemming. But he's forgotten the golden rule of custard running. Never stop. Poor foolish Brainiac. It was just a dream. Or was it? Next time, can Brainiac cross the pool of custard in a sack? In a galaxy far, far away, just off the M25, lies the Brainiac Space Center, boldly pushing the boundaries of rocket science because there's some stuff NASA never tried. Stuff like, can rockets launch a multi-location waste disposal system up to some distressed space researchers? The rockets, 8 cloth toucher 300s. The multi-location waste disposal system, a portable toilet. The distressed space researchers, astronauts, desperate for a poo. Spend any amount of time in space and sooner or later you're gonna need to launch your very own rectal rocket. But spacemen can't just release their asteroids into the cosmos. They need a proper flushing toilet. Can rockets help provide them with a well-plumbed privy in which to unleash their daily bog sausage? Under here are 8 rockets, producing 3/4 of a ton of thrust It'll blast off into space and end up in an orbit somewhere around Saturn. The world's first rocket-powered Kazi. NASA never tried this. OK, Brainiacs? Lift off in several seconds. Scarpa! Time for the final checks.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off!
The awesome power of those 8 rockets combined with the slightly pointy shape of the cubicle ensured a beautiful takeoff and airborne maneuvers reminiscent of a drunken blue bottle in flight. Well, started off with a bit of a strain, a bit of a struggle, but then the pressure eased off and it followed through with a beautiful pair of curled movements. Absolutely wonderful. And he certainly seems relaxed in there. The results, please. So, when man finally has a nice relaxing poo on Uranus, you can't say that the Brainiac rocket scientists didn't have a bit to do with that. Take that to NASA. In the Brainiac slow motion facility, a small team are devoted to the remarkable line of research we call things, but very slowly. So what's today's thing, but very slowly? A man karate chopping a brick. Normally, this is quite interesting to watch. But let's see it again, very slowly. At 4,000 frames per second, the hand of steel transforms into a wobbly mess. The 27 bones of the hand rattle around inside a glove of skin and fluids. A shock wave can be seen travelling through the arm's fatty tissue and across the surface of the brick in a cloud of dust. In real time, it takes 1/10 of a second. A brick being karate chopped in 2. One more thing, but very slowly. Professor Mayang Lee, bringing beauty as well as brains to the world of Brainiac. Recently, the prof has turned her attentions to the field of fluid dynamics, finding out which objects disappear down the toilet when she flushes. So what's inside Mayang Lee's clam this week? A monkey nut! Not an actual monkey's nut, but a pot containing 2 delicious peanuts. But how will it fare in Mayang's toilet with 20 litres of water cascading upon it? Will it flush or float? It's a floater! The pocket of air trapped between the seed and shell gave it a buoyancy that withstood the force of the flush. Thanks, Prof. Nice clam.
Greetings, gas lovers, and welcome to my weekly webcast, the science phenomenon that is gasbangbollop.com, brought to you by me, Barry Bernard, and my trusty companion behind the camera there, you know who you are, Clive. And let's see what objects meet in the gas this week. Yes, it's Clive's bed,
Although it's already seen its fair share of gas, that's nothing compared to what I'm going to be shoving under its mattress today.
I'm just finishing my toffee, Clive. I'm outside now with the bed, and it's good night, sweetheart. Thanks to my combination of gases held within this ball here. The gases, of course, I can't reveal the names of them for national security reasons, and that includes the propane. So now I'll put the ball into the bed. Get ready to run. Leg it. Fly, you great sea cow. Are you ready? Oh, blimey, look at the mattress. It's flying. It's like a flying carpet, Clive. Did you see that? It was good, wasn't it? Fancy a shandy, Clive?
Deep in the heart of Brainiac HQ, Tyler Zuki has an obsession.
I love hard things.
Each week, a viewer will present Tyler with something hard in a bid to make it to the top of her hard ranker leaderboard, as she asks,
How hard is your thing? Today's very hard thing has been brought in by Chris from Dunstable. Hello, Chris.
Hello.
How hard is your thing?
Very hard, I think.
Right, let's have a look at it, shall we? It looks pretty hard. What is it?
A riot shield.
Like a bit of trouble, do you, Chris?
Oh, yes.
Is it a fireproof, bulletproof, knife-proof riot shield made of toughened clear polycarbonate? All right, it looks pretty hard, but just how hard is it? Each week, a hard thing must face 3 separate tests. The heat of thermite, the abrasion of an angle grinder, but first, the impact of a ton of bricks. Get 'em up, boys! The riot shield is designed to do one thing, resist impact. But will the toughened polycarbonate resist falling bricks? 3, 2, 1, release! The riot shield is crushed under the force of the bricks, but incredibly, it survived, if a bit bent, giving it an impressive impact rating of 7 out of 10. Time for test 2. As you can see, the riot shield has concertinaed in on itself. Let's see what happens when I put my 9-inch grinder on it. The riot shield dealt with the impact surprisingly well, but it's being sliced through like butter meeting a hot knife, giving it a feeble abrasion rating of 2 out of 10. On to the final test. Oh. Chris's hard thing is sitting beneath my pot of thermite. Will the riot shield melt under 2,500 degree molten metal? I think we have our answer. The shield is no match for the thermite, giving it a pathetic heat resistance rating of 1 out of 10. Not much protection there. Brainiac, take him away. After 3 grueling tests, the riot shield scored a measly 10 points. How hard do I rank it? Flimsy. How hard is your thing? Next time, how hard is a steel bath?
47 seconds science. Big science questions answered in bite-sized chunks. What's the strongest wind you can pee into without getting it all over your trousers? Peeing into the wind usually refers to something which, if attempted, will only end in disaster. Without any wind, he's able to do the job. Problem-free. Next, some wind. At just 3 miles per hour, it's not enough to affect his stream of steam. Gradually, the wind speed is increased. At 10 miles per hour, the stream of urine becomes unsteady and is hitting the ground closer and closer to the Brainiac's feet. Danger looms. Eventually, there is definite shoe splash, and then clear marks on the trousers. The Brainiac has soiled himself, and the wind speed reading 17 miles per hour. So the next time someone tells you that you shouldn't pee into the wind, you can tell them that you can, as long as it's under 17 miles per hour. 47-second science. Big science questions answered in bite-sized chunks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Science's #1 underground event, Chemistry Deathmatch! Introducing the laboratory's answer to Hulk Hogan, straight out of the University of Sunderland, Professor John Chemical Kilcoyne! And his opponent, chemistry's answer to a slap in the face, straight out of his mum's house, where he still lives. It's science's biggest loser, Dr. Badhead.
Thank you, and welcome to this 10-round battle to be crowned the King of Chemistry. And this week it's round 1, as these science heavyweights slug it out to see who can produce the most lifelike sound of a living creature.
Gentlemen, touch. Now I want a good, clean fight. Now return to your corners and prepare your chemicals.
Kilcoyne there is replicating a dog bark using nitric oxide and carbon disulfide gas, or CS2. Bunhead worryingly going for the scream of a child. He's using chlorate and his secret weapon, a jelly baby. And there it is for you chemistry fans. It's time to put the action into reaction.
Bunhead, please produce your sonic effect.
So it's Bunhead to go first with his screaming sound.
Well, the potassium chlorate's oxidizing the sugary infant, and vast quantities of oxygen are blowing out of the test tube, but sadly producing more of a gargle than a scream.
Professor, please produce your sonic effect.
And with all to play for, it's Professor Kilcoyne with the sound effect of a barking dog. Oh! Surely that's a knockout blow there. The carbon disulfide is oxidized and the combustion wave travels down the tube, compressing the gas until the residual mixture explodes with the noise of a barking dog. Magnificent. And it's time for the judge's verdict. And it's a unanimous decision for Kilcoyne. Next time, our titans of titration compete to produce the biggest bang.
Brainiac. Brainiac.
Whenever news of global environmental catastrophe reaches the Brainiacs, they call on the only man who knows what to do. Enviromaniac. Afraid to leave his shed quarters until it's safe outside, he sends Brainiacs to give Mother Nature a good kicking. Today, the Brainiacs are tackling deforestation by finding the fastest way to plant trees. For their first attempt, they're using oak saplings and a pair of rapid hole-making devices size 12 for the man who likes to make an effort. The rainforest loses about 100 trees per second due to deforestation, so to save the world, the Brainiacs must match that rate. We only supplied the shoes. The Brainiac brought the stockings in from home. And despite going at it like a possessed hoe in an Essex garden centre, after 30 seconds, only 20 trees have been planted. just shy of our target by 99.4 trees per second. It seems solving deforestation is going to take considerable scientific ingenuity. On the other hand, a crane full of rockets might do the job. The Brainiacs are going to plant 10 horse chestnut saplings in quick succession. Their sleek, elegant trunks should be perfectly suited to the aerodynamics of rocket flight. Of course, not every landing is textbook, but fortunately trees are phototropic and naturally grow upwards towards the sun. And it only takes 3.4 seconds for the Earth to become a mass of smouldering bark. That's a planting rate of 2.9 trees per second. It's an improvement, but even rockets can't solve global deforestation. We've only got one idea left, and frankly, it's nuts. 500 of them, as eaten by squirrels and other rat-like creatures which poo them out as tree seeds ready to grow. It would take much too long for the Brainiacs to defecate all over the countryside, so they've opted for explosives to recreate the excrement of 500 small rodents. A new forest has exploded into life and seeds are blown across the field at speeds squirrels can only dream of. That's 500 seeds in 3 seconds and a planting rate of 166 trees per second. Success! The Earth's deforestation problem is solved. Environmaniac, working hard to protect the environment.
Come in. Stand over there for me, please. Right, Mr. Tickle, what can we do for you today?
Nurse, I'm bored. Can you show me something interesting that I can do with my body, please?
Certainly, try this. Please take a chair and sit down.
Okay.
Now please put a finger on your nose.
Okay.
Close your eyes and hold up your other hand. Now rub both noses at the same time for about 30 seconds.
Okay.
This tactile illusion, known as the Pinocchio effect, fools your brain into thinking your nose is in the same place as the other person's, giving the feeling that your hooter is a lot longer than it actually is.
Now tell me how it feels.
Well, it's quite strange, nurse. My nose feels like it's about 2 feet long. Oh, that's amazing. Does it work on any other body parts?
Bye, Mr. Tickle.
Goodbye.
It's liquid oxygen time. Liquid oxygen. Very special. Today, let's see what happens to garden shed. Ursula, please will you bring garden shed? Ursula with a shed. Today, we celebrate anniversary of communist revolution. Burning shed represents Tsarist oppressors. First, let's see how shed burns using normal oxygen in air. It only singes like young circus boy's haircut. For fire worthy of celebration, we need liquid oxygen. Ursula, please set small fire. Pull. Liquid oxygen makes smoldering wood burn faster, creating inferno worthy of great celebration. Shed is in cinders like Tsarist oppressors. Liquid oxygen, it's a miracle!
If you ever come into contact with a stinging nettle, or indeed a brainiac, you'll know just how irritating and painful they can be. But what's the worst place to be stung by a nettle? Down at the lab, this Brainiac is going to have some stinging nettles applied to various parts of his body, giving each one a pain rating out of 10. On the leaves are hundreds of tiny needles which will penetrate the skin and break off, injecting a toxin which burns, causing painful, itchy red lumps. First, the sensitive area of skin between the toes. Certainly some pain there for the Brainiac, but he's going to have to pull himself together because we need to get an accurate pain reading. And it's a 5 out of 10. Before shoes were invented, humans developed thick skin on their feet to protect them from injury and pain. So we need to move on to somewhere more sensitive, like the nipple. And although they serve no purpose on a man, they're still very sensitive, proving more painful than the toes, with what looks like an 8. Next, the groin. The skin here is sensitive, so the body can watch out for dangers to the reproductive organs, and he's rated it a 6. Higher than the toes, but less painful than the nipple. The Brainiac's mum won't let us sting his face, so we've chosen his neck. What she doesn't know is that it's just as sensitive, especially to kissing, stroking, and hanging. But what about stinging? To allow the head to move around freely, the skin on the neck has to be thin, so nerve endings are close to the surface, and therefore very sensitive to attack. The score? An impressive 9. Lastly, his rear end. There's a big reaction on his face and a big reaction on his skin. But despite that, it only gets a 7.
The worst place to be stung by a nettle is the neck.
And don't worry, Brainiac, we'll take care of those rashes. Thanks for the doc leaves, Doc. In our quest for more microwave knowledge, we've upgraded. Our new one is almost as big as a man. See? This is Big Microwave Tiny Teaser. Hey, you! Stop! The following experiment is dangerous. Do not try this at home. For pity's sake. What happens if you put a hot wine glass in a big microwave? Just heat the surface until a hot spot appears, pop it on full power, and get out of there as fast as your legs will carry you. But what happens next? Will the glass A. shatter, B. melt, or C. Tiger Woods? The correct answer is B. It melts. Although glass doesn't normally melt in the microwave, it can if it's hot. Glass contains metal ions which move about in the soft hot spot and conduct electricity. Add high-powered microwaves and the hot spot heats up like an electrical wire. The hotter it gets, the better it conducts, and the hot spot grows until your mum's best crystal is a runny mess. We do these experiments so you don't have to. Do not try this at home.
We've tricked a variety of acts into auditioning for a new talent show to find out if they can still perform while receiving electric shocks. After attaching high-voltage pads to today's auditionee, it's time to say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What's your name?
Tippy.
What are you going to do today?
Belly dancing.
Off you go.
Pretty hot stuff. But let's see if we can raise the temperature even higher. The electrical impulses are causing severe convulsions and some painful, yet quite unusual sounding groans. belly dancing, an act you can't perform when receiving a nice, big shock.
Thank you, Tippy. That was very expressive. Bye.
Goodbye.
Next time, we put the cheer into cheerleaders.
Through countless rigorous scientific tests, there's been one clear winner in the field of CO2-powered locomotion. The design classic that is the CO2-powered wheelchair. But today we're going to challenge that and see if we can find out which is the quickest hospital-based CO2 transport. We've got 3 worthy opponents. Each of them will pit their wits against this crutched Brainiac. The quickest over 100 metres will go head-to-head with the CO2-powered wheelchair. Let's meet the first of our 3 hospital items competing to take on the CO2-powered wheelchair. The bang, up-to-date 21st century hospital bed with exciting new features like this gripping handle for particularly traumatic operations. Or this, it's a tray for catching limbs following an amputation. But what if you've got to get to the operating theatre quick and there's no porters around? That porter once again is at the bookies or at his internet wine bar. Can CO2 come to the rescue? With the regulation CO2 canisters attached, I'm ready to race. And we're off! Of course, if I just needed to beat the Brainiac, I'd simply run him over again. But the qualifying rounds are all about speed. Unfortunately, the bed's small wheels and rear thrusters are making it as manoeuvrable as a cow in a coma. Nurse! As the Brainiac crosses the line, I'm left to put my faith in the next contender. The lightweight aluminium tube-framed food trolley with caster wheels. There's a heart bypass going on in the theatre and the Surgeon General is literally shaking with hunger. You've got to get his dinner to him before he mucks it up again. Can the food trolley do better than the bed and actually finish? It might not be pretty, but the combination of lightweight frame and compressed gas has at least got enough power to make it to the finishing line and cross the tape with clinical precision. I am humble in victory. In your face, invalid boy! And now our final contender, a brace of drip stands. Thank you, nurse. 2 aged Moroccans have begun to dry out and they need rehydrating with these drips. Can the simple drip stands beat the food trolley's time and earn the right to take on the mighty wheelchair? It's not looking good. The extinguishers and 2 bags of salty water have put me in a spin, and after just 14 seconds I'm out of gas. Literally. After 3 qualifiers, the food trolley has just pipped the others for a place in the final against the wheelchair. Who will be the king of CO2-powered hospital transport?
The wheelchair is the undisputed king of CO2 propulsion. It's never been beaten. The food trolley is a rank outsider.
Actually, this isn't fair. I think you should go in that one. Go on, get in, over there. That's it. Make your way over there. Go on, quick as you can. With me rightfully restored to the CO2 vehicle of choice, we're ready to race. As tradition has it, when the knickers drop, the fun begins. Sportingly, I give the Brainiac a head start, but then I unleash the full majesty of my twin canisters and let the wheelchair do the talking. The Brainiac's food trolley is floundering, but the wheelchair is living up to its status as a speed demon. I am victorious and coast triumphantly into the pit lane. So there we are. The fastest CO2-powered hospital transport is the wheelchair. Unfortunately, I've broken both my legs. Nurse!
Brainiac. Brainiac. Things what my body does.
Hi, my name's Jackie, and the thing what my body does is...
Ooh. The shoulder is the most mobile joint of the body. Its tremendous range of motion makes it unstable and far more prone to dislocation than other joints, which is great if, like this strange lady, you enjoy dislocation. After trawling the streets of Britain for some of the world's best-loved celebrities, we whisked them off to appear in the science event of the year.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stars in Their Caravans. We've trapped a selection of celebrities in 10 shabby caravans. The desperate stars can only leave when their name is randomly selected and their caravan is destroyed. Week 1, and the stars are settling into their new lives. Paul Daniels is already showing keen survival instincts with the lovely Debbie McGee. It's time to select a celeb, but who will the Ofcom regulated arrow of destiny choose today? Well, fancy that! Tough luck, Titmus! Knock, knock, Daniels and McGee! We're letting you go! Just as soon as you've played our little game. Long fuse, short fuse! Paul and Debbie, inside your caravan is one of your treasured possessions. Would you like to tell us what it is?
It's a photograph of the two people we love the most, which us. Yes.
Well, your photo is now sitting next to Super Brainiac's Gelignite. We're about to ask you a science question. Get it right, and we'll light the long fuse, giving you a chance to save your picture. Get it wrong, and it's the short fuse and bye-bye photo. Now, here's your question. Unanseptium is a theoretically possible but as yet undiscovered transuranic halogen predicted to be radioactive. But what's its atomic number?
88?
No, that's radium.
117.
Is the correct answer. You've won the long fuse. But remember, every second counts. While the other celebs brace themselves for a big bang, Paul and Debbie have chosen to rescue their hideous photo. But disaster! Super Brainiac's stuck into the wall. Best get out of there. That's right, Paul, ladies first. Time to enjoy the magic of science. Ooh! Debbie's been rear-ended by a piece of flying caravan. Hope it wasn't the tow bar. Gelignite is nitroglycerin combined with nitrocellulose and wood pulp to make it safe to handle. But it's not so safe when lit, destroying a flimsy caravan in a fiery fury of twisted metal. Sorry about that photo, Paul and Debbie, but unlike our other celebrities, at least you're free to go. Thanks for playing Stars in Their Caravans. Now that's science magic.
Через несколько минут начнется скандинавский этап Супербанки. Команда Subaru уже за кулисами мирового чемпионата по ралли. Последний приготовление позади. Начинаем битву на снежной трассе.